What's up, guys? Today we are going to go to Star Trek. Now, I haven't been picking up too many of these lately, but a while back I got one that's pretty cool, and I haven't opened it yet. Let's check out Spock. So, my Star Trek collection, I pretty much have almost everything that I want. I'm not crazy collecting on this idea. I like Star Trek. I live by it. I've watched it my entire life. I'm still watching it today. But in terms of collecting, there's very few things that I want. I have the ship that I want. I'm happy with it. I have all the ships that I want. I don't need any other ships. I need the original Playmates Bridge Crew original series. Once I get that, I've pretty much got the Playmates the way that I want. And some of these are probably going to come off the shelf, in all honesty, because it's just clutter at that point. What I want is I want the Next Generation crew, and I want the original series crew, because those are what got me in. Those are the ones that matter to me the most. Once I have those in the original Playmate style, I'm happy. And maybe I would like to find an Enterprise D bridge, but that's very iffy. Because, first off, I have to find one in great condition, and second, I don't know if the quality would hold up. I'm very nostalgia-driven to that idea. I never had it. It's something that I kind of want. But unlike Castle Grayskull, this was something that was also nostalgia-driven. I never had a playset, and I thought that was the coolest one I ever seen in my life. And that's the reason I wanted that one. It might not hit the same way with the Enterprise Bridge. It might just disappoint me, because it does look very much like a toy. I don't know. I need to see one complete in person to make any kind of actual determination, but I have a feeling it looks too cheap, and I'd have to do a lot of work on it to make it look acceptable to what I'm looking for, so probably not. So that leaves the other side of my goal. This is a random thing. It was a present, it's cool, we're going to open it, and we're going to check it out. But in the long run, the goal for the Star Trek shelf is to get a full cast of the original crew, a full cast of the Next Generation crew, couple side characters here and there, all Playmates. I already have all the ships that I want, and then I would like to get a couple of these for the original bridge crew. That's it, the original series bridge crew, in which I don't know how far along I am on that. I have Kirk, Sulu, and Scotty, and that's it. That's all that I've been able to put together on those, and their size is different to these newer ones that are, or rather these ones that I've got the last two times. Let's kick over to the table, because I'll show you the one that I already have, show you the variant size that I'm actually looking for in the long run, and we'll open him and check him out. So, here we are. These are the three of them, or the ones that I have currently right now. This is Old Man Spock, which is pretty cool. He's been standing down there next to Castle Grayskull for a while now, and he's a fairly solid figure. I like the face sculpt very much. I think he's very solid, but he's not an absolute standout for me. He's very much just not what I'm looking for. That's not to say he's bad. He's just not necessarily what I'm looking for. These are the ones that I would like to collect all the way through. This set right here, I would like to get the entire original bridge crew. And then I'd be happy, in all honesty. That's it. That's simple. But that doesn't change the fact that we are currently sitting with another Spock of this size, or bigger, possibly. This guy looks like he might be the biggest one I've ever got. And there he is. His box, very simple. We got the little open area right here, which is pretty solid. We've got a nice visual of him. Star Trek The Wrath of Khan. This was, from what I'm understanding, exclusive to KB Toys, was limited to 5,000. So there's only 5,000 of these guys? That's interesting. There we go. Back of the box. Pretty solid. I don't see a number on this guy, actually. Looks like he was bought for 35. I'm pretty sure I know what store this came from. Like I said, this was a gift to me. So this is the kind of thing that he never, even limited quantity, he never got, how do I put this, super expensive. Limited quantity does not mean price value. It doesn't. And also, age, something old, also does not mean price value. Just because it's limited or old does not make it a hardcore collector's item, get your money, yada yada. That's just not the way that it works. It's a possibility that his value may have went up since I got him. But I couldn't imagine that it's went up enough to keep me from unboxing him. So I checked real quick. This guy right here, relatively monetary value, if you have him with Kirk in the box, and the boxes are pretty much flawless, you can get about $100 a piece. And you probably got to have a pretty good number. That's what I mean. Relatively, you can find one of these guys for 20 bucks, which means his value never skyrocketed even after Leonard Nimoy's passing, which is something that I've tried to argue to people for a very long time. Just because it is that character, and just because it is old, just because it is limited, does not mean they're worth money. You may as well open these things up and enjoy them. And that's what we're going to do right now. All right, here he is. Here's Spock. There he is. We have a pretty good face sculpt here. Let's get in and look at him. That's pretty solid. I'd say it fits the time. I'd say it could be better, but that's not bad. I don't think I would cry about that face sculpt sitting on the shelf. I think that's pretty solid. This could have been an actual emblem, but if we're being fair, the one that I'm currently looking to get also doesn't actually have it also doesn't actually have it. See, it's just printed on the shirt. So if we were to, if I was to come down on this guy and be like, oh, what his stuff is fake, well, then I definitely have to come down on the ones that I'm actually hunting for. And quite frankly, I'm not looking to judge it like that, in all honesty. Looks like we have a little, is this a button, or is it like just a little, it is a button. It is an actual type of button. And it allows for that little thing like this where you open the shirt up, because they do that in the Wrath of Khan movie. Kirk is more famous for having done it than I think anybody else, in all honesty. These gloves, they work, but they're a pain to put on, and they're really not worth it. They're really not worth it. I'm going to say something right off the bat, though. He's standing up. He stands up. He stands up. You don't. Old man Spock, it's something in his feet. It's a pain in the butt. And I had to get this stand because he would not stand up. This Spock doesn't even come with a stand. And there he is. Just a standing. Like, my only guess is that Spock's knees got bad as he got older. I mean, I guess it happens to everybody. We'll be fair to the person in general. It's not bad. It is solid. It's a decent representation of Spock. I think I'm actually going to take these gloves off. I don't think I need them. I think I will probably put him something like this down at the bottom shelf or whatever, and I'll kind of have him do the Vulcan salute, and I'll have him do the Vulcan greeting as well. So these two will stand next to each other, and it'll kind of be like a cool little era, like a sequence era. And maybe, who knows, if this catches attention enough, it might not be the worst idea in the world to get an original series costume to put right there, and you could see them throughout the ages. Hey, it is kind of cool. It does actually work. I don't think that it's the most stellar thing I've ever seen in my entire life necessarily. This doesn't like blow my mind. I actually think that these, for the size and whatnot, are a little bit better. He's kind of big. He'll take up a lot more space. You could argue, for depending on what you're collecting for, that might be good. But I tend to like things that are kind of big, but not too big, I guess is the way you could put it. Kind of like, I really like Masterverse. But I feel like if they were a little bit bigger than that, they'd be too much. And I like this because he's bigger than all the Playmates, but he has just enough features to be what he's supposed to be. And I like that, where these guys are kind of big and they're a little harder to store than these guys. So you get where I'm going with that. And yeah, it's incredibly particular, but that is just the way that we are when we get into collecting and whatnot. Just like some people, they will only collect 7-inch lines or 6-inch lines. They have a very set standard as to what they collect, and that's kind of where I'm falling in right now. This is what I want. This is the size and line and variant and detail that I personally want. As you can see in this line, that's a really good Jim Kirk, right? It's really, really good. I have no issue with this at all. I think it looks fantastic. This has a really good face. His face, it almost seems like his head is a little big. Maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe it's just the variant size. But then again, these guys seem to be about the same size. And he has this smaller head. And he's got like a big O head. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it one way or another, necessarily. But yeah, that's where my thoughts are on Mr. Spock. So that's all. This isn't a long video, and it's not necessarily meant to be. This is really just to get my idea out there, and to actually finally open him. Like other characters. So a lot of other characters, a lot of other toys that I gotta get opened and get on the shelf and get sorted. And it's just, it's an ever-expanding project. And as I'm doing said project, he was on the ground. He was a large box. I move out the large box. I open the figure. That's a little less space. He'll look good on the shelf. It gets another video. It's win, win, win. What else was I going to do, right? Anyways, guys. Later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.